I think we all need to take a moment and just acknowledge what is the level of stress that move is having on us, and really validating that.
Working from home, it can be stressful and beneficial depending on whom you ask. Many people right now in Utah and across the country are working from home, and they have been since March.
But will we go back to the workplace at some point? Fox 13 Sydney Glenn joins us after spending the day searching for answers. Sydney, what'd you find?
Bob and Kelly, it's 5:30 on a Monday evening. Normally in the middle of downtown Salt Lake City, you would see a lot of cars, people heading home, getting ready to do that commute. Not really so much though right now during COVID. For almost a year now, work and home have been the same place for many people.
It was different at first. I mean, even now it's still a little different, but I'm getting more and more used to it and enjoy it.
Some people, like Jason GOOCH, love the change.
Not having the commute and the time wasted and the vehicle and all that's been good. The bad side of it is just not seeing everybody.
As the COVID-19 vaccine rollout continues, the president and CEO of the Salt Lake City Chamber says it's only a matter of time before we start seeing working in person as an option again.
I think that it really is going to be a hybrid. And I think the two words for people to remember is hybrid and flexible.
He anticipates working from home being on the table at least part of the time, and that office space will likely look different.
We also know that organizational design is going to change, that you may need more space between employees.
Derek Miller says he thinks fewer mega-sized office spaces could actually help Utah grow.
Which actually will bode well for Salt Lake City to be able to attract more tech companies, more innovation, startup, entrepreneurial companies that would want to be in a place like a downtown Salt Lake City.
No one knows what our lives will look like this time next year, but it's probably safe to say that the way we work and where we work will likely see some changes.
I think in the long term, what it is going to cause companies to do is to really speed up some things that they were thinking about doing initially, which is to have more flexibility.
I'd like to continue working from home. There's just no reason for me to be there.
Miller says as more companies are realizing that telework works and people are still being productive, this could really be beneficial for people who live in more rural areas, because this gives them the opportunity to have jobs that are normally you would have in a big city like right here in downtown Salt Lake. Live in downtown Salt Lake City, Sydney Glenn, Fox 13 News, Utah.
It has been interesting. Sydney, thanks so much. You know, while some of you, like Bob and myself, have worked in the office most, if not all of the pandemic, some of you are likely starting to prepare to go back to work at some point, back to the workplace. The director of mental health integration for Intermountain Healthcare says it may be difficult for some people to go back to work in person. He suggests you start thinking about how it makes you feel and to also acknowledge and validate those feelings. While many people will transition back easily and be happy to be back, those who are worried should start planning now.
Don't want to have regrets, and so we'd hate to have that regret of, man, I should have just asked. Because perhaps our employer doesn't know what we would like to do, and it's always in our control to speak up, use our voice, and advocate for ourselves.
Don't be shy to ask questions. Dr. Mickelson says we should also be good role models for children, as some will be returning to the classroom for the first time this month.
Now, we want to hear from you. Do you enjoy working from home? Even if you aren't currently, would you like to work from home? Go to our Fox 13 Facebook page and fill out the survey.